Hey, this is Dave, and I know, and I believe you probably already think this is true, that many different churches are needed for many different kinds of people. So I'm going to talk to you about just one kind of church that really is helpful in reaching people that wouldn't go to a typical kind of church, even a really great church. And maybe you have friends like that. In fact, I bet you do, and you would love for them to be able to connect with a church, but you're just not quite sure they're going to go to the kind of brick and mortar church that most of us are used to. Well, that's where this idea of a micro church comes in. A couple things about a micro church. Now, obviously, the word micro is there. It's small. In fact, it's intentionally small and always small. The intention of a microchurch is not to become some large thing. The intention is really twofold. It's to make disciples, to find people that you can disciple, and usually those would be people that would not be in the church. That's the whole point and goal. And then the other thing is that it would multiply. You see, in the Great Commission, which is quoted often in Matthew 28, what Jesus did not say is he did not say, now come and be disciples. No, he said, now go and make disciples. So that's really what a microchurch is wired up to do. It's to be this intensively small and concentrated thing that goes out to where people are and makes disciples. And so I would encourage you to think about using this model in your life. In fact, I toyed around with even calling this training how to start a microchurch next week. Because I really do believe that you right now, no matter who you are, you have in you what you already need to be able to start a microchurch next week. You don't need to wait 6 months. You don't need to raise money. You don't need to quit your job. Please don't quit your job. You need that job in order to do this. In fact, the people that you're working with are probably the first people that you can make disciples of and go and reach. And so what a microchurch really looks like, and this is something that we talk about a lot in the One Multi-Church Network. We're just a network of churches that really wants to see different kind of churches start that are a little bit different than the norm. We really do feel that, this is why many of our churches are small. Most of them are led by people that have vocations beyond the church and consider themselves co-vocational or multi-vocational, and most of their time is eaten up in other parts of life than the church. And this is why all of us empower everyday Christians to participate in making disciples and multiplying the church. We don't think you necessarily need to go off to seminary in order to start a church. We think you need to go off to seminary, as I did, in order to help train and equip other people in order to make disciples and multiply the church. So there's a training you're going to find here following in this path, and it's going to walk you through how to start a microchurch through the book of Matthew, right in the very first book of the New Testament, which a lot of people, that's where they would start if they were given a New Testament, is at the beginning, just like any other book. And so it'll show you how to do that, how to actually gather a group of people together in your living room or a coffee shop or at your workplace, and to start a microchurch very soon, even next week. And there's just a few different steps that make it happen. These are proven. There's things that we found that really work. There's things we found that don't work as well. And if you follow these steps, I think that you can put some together. Now, here's the thing. Don't put a huge pressure on yourself with all of this. This isn't something that you've got a lot riding on, that other people have a lot riding on. That's why I think you could start it very soon. This is not something you need to promote, raise money for. It's really just something that you can start in literally your free time. And believe it or not, most people have found that after just a little bit of training and about 5 to 10 minutes of preparation a week, they can actually start their own church if you use this microchurch model. There are a lot of other different ways. We don't have anything against other models in the church. We just think that this is one that can really help you. And we at the One Multi-Church Network want to be able to help support you. That's what we do, to be able to help network people together that are doing this kind of a church in order to reach their friends with the wonderful message that we find in places like the book of Matthew. So follow into the training. You can read those steps, interact with it a little bit, and we'll be able to respond to those things. If you ever see a little box that you can type into, please do give us your response. We will see that and be able to respond to you and help you and make sure that you're able to move to the next step in starting your own microchurch. Let's launch into Matthew together. This will be fun.